abandoned naval bases and all these open areas, and the city right in the middle has everything we need, like, you know, metal shops and wood shops.
It is amazing. It's like, oh, we need a house. Because you're doing the experiment with the bug. You take the bug spray stuff, the bombs, bug bombs, and fill up a house with it. And it's like, oh, yeah, we need a house to explode.
But we have like this amazing team of really charming researchers that talk people into the most amazing things. Like, we got a 747 to play with.
Yeah.
I mean, who gets that?
Yeah, that was a good one, too.
Yeah.
What was the most shocking myth that was actually true that you thought was bullshit?
Well, it's actually not a big, crazy one. It's kind of a small one. We had this gag. We were doing red flag to a bull where we were trying to see if the red actually aggravated them. And so just as a gag, we're like, let's do bull in a china shop, you know? It'll just be funny. We'll see a bunch of carnage. So we set up this china shop with a whole bunch of thrift store dishes and in like a small pen. It was probably like 15 by 15, and just let a bull loose. And we thought he would just smash everything. Such agility and grace, danced around all the shelves, didn't knock over one dish.
He straightened a Hummel.
That's great.
We released 2, 3, 4, 5 bowls, didn't knock over a dish. We actually had more dishes knocked over in the thrift store by my co-host Tori when we were trying to buy the dishes than any of the bowls ever did.
Here's the video.
Oh, wow, look at this bowl. He's actually shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty insane.
That is a good one.
Was that your favorite myth? What was your favorite myth?
Oh, man, Demolition Derby by far.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I was in a Sikorsky helicopter dropping a car, trying to hit an X, and Grant was radio controlling a car from the other end of the desert, and we were trying to make the two cars meet at the middle. That was crazy.
You get to do fun things.
Awesome, yeah.
I do.
You know, going back to that insurance thing, I was actually surprised at one of the last episodes, Cold Feet, with Tori. I mean, they put him in. The whole myth was to see if cold feet was something that you can get, like if you could be scared enough where your feet actually get colder than your core temperature. And they put Tori in a stunt plane and took him up and started doing some pretty sick shit and doing like 3.5 G's. And as I'm seeing him get into this cockpit and go down the road, I'm like, they're not going to let him do this. Like, there's no way. Because I know that some of the stuff that they haven't been able to do in the past. Yeah. Sure enough, the guy took him up.
We gave him a parachute.
I was surprised
we scared the
about
heck
that.
out of him, though. You know what you don't see on the show is I talked to the pilot. I'm like, can you freak him out a little bit? Can you maybe say some stuff? Can you like maybe make the plane stall just a little bit and be like, really get ready, we're going to have to jump, could you do something? And so he definitely had a few extra thrills up there that you didn't see.
The pilot was showing him how to roll off of the wing in case he has to eject.
Oh my God. Wait, was it a military jet or was it a prop?
No, it was a stunt plane.
So how do you roll off the wing? What does that mean?
Well, like if you fall out.
Yeah, you don't want to jump out.
They were playing with his head and trying to gas him up, but
well, yeah, because if you'd fall out of the plane, you're probably going to hit the tail. So they were showing you how to not just get hit by the tail, but to roll off of it like G.I. Joe style.
Oh wow! And did his feet get cold?
Not as cold as mine did. We had some other tests. I don't know if you didn't see the show.
He's only seen the show.
I'm a fan. I watch all the time.
We had to.
Danny, will you recite the episode blow by blow for us right now, please?
Well, it starts off with that blue paper and then a silver Sharpie.
Well, we were trying to test, what would really scare us, so we all got to come up with what scared each other. I knew Tori was scared of heights, so we did the stunt plane. That's kind of like a thrill fear, and then Grant scared.
You just bring Grant outside. You just bring him into a city environment, and he got freaked out.
Oh, worse. He's scared of spiders. Are any of you scared of spiders?
No.
Not at all?
Unless they're on me. Like, if there's one here, I'm like, I don't like it, but that's not a phobia.
Well, imagine tarantulas the size of your hand being dropped in your head while your head is sealed in a glass box.
No.
I've done other things in a glass box like
Naughty.
So wait. All right, so they put his head in it's all...
We made a torture chair. We made him sit in a chair. He had to sit there. We put a box over his head, and there's a little hole in the top, and then I just start dropping tarantulas on him. Yeah.
Was he screaming? I mean,
oh my! He looked like he was going to wet his pants. He was so scared. Like he was going. Oh!
Do they bite? They don't bite, right? Were they?
I didn't get ones that bite. I'm not that cruel. I mean, I wanted to freak him out. I didn't want to kill him.
Scary.
Grant I think the most scared I ever saw Grant was when you guys did that myth where you guys were in the water, and I think sharks were in the water as well, and one like brushed up against him, and apparently he does not like when fish touch him in the water.
Apparently, he claims this is a real phobia, that other people have this phobia, that fish touching you is.
Yeah, I pretty much don't like that.
I don't think I
all.
like that either.
Really?
It's about the unseen. It's about the unseen, though. It's under the water.
It's
That
underwater.
doesn't go back to childhood at all. A hand on the
If I
knee.
was walking down the street and a fish touched my leg, I wouldn't care.
I have a friend.
Walk away
The fear
from
of
him.
Abe Vigoda.
I have a friend with a fish phobia, and we went to the Museum of Natural History or Natural Science, whatever. And when you go into the room with all the fish replicas and shit like that, she has to cover her eyes in the room and scream and run through it. She
That's
can't.
crazy.
It's
That's
fucking
crazy.
nuts.
Those are the people I like to torture.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so easy to mess with.
Can I
with
hire
you.
you to put her head in a box and drop fish on her head
That would be awesome.
to see what happens?
Yeah, you do have a torturous side of you. You do
Yeah, well,
like
I mean,
kinda-
it goes all around. I mean, I love using the taser on Tori when he's not expecting it. It's kind of like coffee for him.
Wait,
works
did you
both
have,
ways,
did you have
though.
a fear that you did? What was yours?
I did. Mine was more like a dread. It's kind of the gag on the show that they like to make me gag. They love to try to get me to throw up, and they feel like they've really accomplished something if they can get me to fruition, if I can actually puke. So
Through motion or what you see?
I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
So they'll like send me to the butcher, and like the butcher will throw a tongue at me and be like, duh. They'll be like, here's some pig entrails. Could you put this in a blender? Because we need it for something. But in this particular case, they blindfolded me and brought me out into the shop, and the smell was so bad. I could hear them sort of dry heaving as they led me out. It's like, what are they doing to me? And then I sit down at this table, they take the blindfold off, and there's this sort of buffet of like chicken feet, fish head, pig entrails, like the nastiest stuff you've ever seen. And then they bring out this platter of like live bugs, maggots, hissing cockroaches, scorpions, crickets. And they said, pick two. You have to eat them. Oh. And I was just looking at it's like salmonella, trichinosis, dysentery, like it looked really bad. The cleanest thing to me looked like the bugs because they were lab grade. So I figured that would probably be the safest. So
Sure.
I choked down a little maggot worm to start with, which actually was a good choice because it slithered down pretty easily, even though it really freaked me out. Second choice was a cricket, and that was a bad choice. They're really spiky.
Are they bitter?
Well, I was trying to just swallow without chewing.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah, they got a
stuck
lot of
in my throat.
spines and stuff on
You
it.
could hear him inside you.
It got stuck right here, and I was going,
Yeah.
and it was live. It was alive. It was stuck right there, and I'm torturing it by.
Come on now.
I did throw up.
Oh, you did.
Well, it was stuck in my throat.
Good for them.
But then they made me eat it again because I had to eat it.
Oh my God.
I said this on the show. I'm a grown
Trooper.
woman. Boys are still trying to make me eat bugs. I can't
That's
believe
funny.
this.
You're a trooper.
I would have eaten the maggots too. You know they're disgusting.
Look at
Oh,
those
no
fucking
fucking
things.
way.
They're the
They do
cleanest.
look clean,
I know,
though.
but look at that.
They clean wounds.
maggots.
They're good if you have a wound. That's why they put maggots in a wound. They clean the wound.
What year are you in?
I know.
I'm just saying they good.
How about antibiotics?
Yeah.
I like maggots.
You know, it's good for sickness, a nice bleeding.
I got some leeches in case you get a cut.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
Yeah, you look really unhappy there.
Oh, yeah, the smell around me was also it was making you want to throw up as it was.
You ever get scared
look
of doing
beautiful, though.
something? Like where you're like, oh, that's just too like scary?
The shark special, we had to test whether sharks were afraid of flashlights. So we were put
You're
under.
afraid of flashlights?
We'll see. I'm afraid of being in completely dark water with sharks.
Yeah.
With the lights off.
I could see that.
Yeah, and then at one point that before we got our testing done, we turned off all the lights because we had to do a control test to see how many sharks would show up in the area to start with. So you'd feel whoosh, whoosh. You didn't know if it was a turtle. You didn't know if it was a shark.
man,
You didn't know if it
no
was a
way.
diver. And I was just like, okay.
No
Just like, come on, buck
way.
up. I have to handle this. They're handling this. I'm handling this.
Yeah, you are in a boys' club over there, so it does seem
Yeah.
like you have to kind of go one step beyond.
Now,
Just keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is it different now that you're a mom? Is there some stuff that maybe you would not do now that you would have previously?
No.
Look,
Still gone
no.
home.
You're a trooper.
Nice.
No,
I
I-
love the fact it's like, nah.
No, I still jump out of planes.
Yeah,
There's the cricket stuck in your throat.
They
have a puke cam.
They're so mean.
That was really
A
bad.
puke cam. That's funny.
You know, it was kind of it was semi-disturbing episode. Was it was from a while ago, but the water torture. Because you had a tough time with that.
I've got nightmares.
What is the water torture?
You were like really screwed up about that one.
Well, I mean,
What is it?
Okay,
They just did the Chinese water torture.
where they
Right.
drip water in your head. But we just for the looks of it, we made this like splinter-ridden table, and we used Civil War shackles to shackle us up so that we couldn't move, and we had to be tortured by the water.
They had to make it
Where's
hot.
your fault?
Yeah, it's on my
Right here on
DVR.
your forehead, it was drip, drip, drip. So like you couldn't like tune it out. Every time a drip would hit, it just brought you back into the fact that you're being tortured. I don't think we really thought this through as a myth because the best case scenario is torture.
Yeah, it's
How long?
torture.
How do you not just move your head to the left or right, or do they stay?
You
No, it
couldn't,
was
yeah.
strapped down. I had
You
this like
couldn't move.
Yeah, it was strapped with like a leather strap and this thing that held my face there.
She
and
got so upset.
How
was
long
very
into
sad.
it do you start to get really bothered by it? Like after how many? Is it 10 minutes or is it an hour? That's
I
tolerable.
was at about an hour. I started to freak out because I was getting claustrophobic and my arms started cramping, and but I didn't want to call it. I didn't want to look like
Yeah.
a wimp. And so the EMT actually had to say, you know what, she's done, because I started to cry a little bit.
Yeah,
I was
a little
like,
bit.
I'll make it.
Oh, my
and they're like, no,
God.
you're done. But
How long would the Chinese do that for? Like what's?
Probably days.
Yeah, look, she's
Look
crying.
at I'm crying.
That's terrible. Were you
Come
taking
on.
Might all that time? Was it?
Do you feel like you're going to fall apart and go to pieces?
can you see what finger I'm holding?
All right, Kari just clipped me off.
Crying.
Just give me a
I
second,
didn't know I
okay?
didn't.
No, of course not.
I was a thumb.
I know you're very wholesome.
I was a thumb.
I had a moment of sheer terror and panic.
That's the face we want you
when
to
I was on
have by the
rack.
time you're done with this
And
interview.
It was so strange. I didn't expect going into this that I was going to freak out and start crying in front of everybody. I mean, I knew I could get up at any time, but the restraints totally made me lose it.
Wow.
I actually haven't watched
just
this
had a
episode.
sudden-
Really?
Oh, you've never watched it?
Oh, no.
It's like a Hannibal Lecter mask almost. It's
Yeah, it
holding
really
the face
is.
in place.
We're
Wasn't the water
special
like
effects
cold,
artists.
I think?
The water we did on Tori was ice water, but it didn't
Yeah.
make this episode. I guess they thought it was more fun to watch me cry.
Yeah, that's it. Watch ice water drip on Tori's
And it
head.
was high too, right? It drips from high up. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I actually kind of, the worst part is we were making this. I make torture devices for myself. Like, how messed up is that?
That
it's
is
like,
pretty
go
sick.
pick the switch off the tree kind of thing, you know?
How come he's not bolted in?
Oh, because we wanted to try it without being restrained, because we couldn't go through with it, and we wanted to just kind of isolate the water torture. And we put him in a diaper so that he'd have to lay there for a long time.
wet
But
himself.
I don't know if you knew this about adult diapers, but they're not like baby diapers where they're supposed to take a full thing of pee. It's for a little bit of drip. So like all of a sudden he's like he had to run because he's like, this isn't holding. I don't remember if that was in the episode or not, so maybe I shouldn't have said that.
How does that place ever get clean? Like, I was just watching that poo episode, and like, it wasn't real poo that they were using, but there was just shit flying all over the place, and I'm like, there's no way they're getting everything. Like, there has to be just rotting stuff from 5 seasons ago just hanging around that warehouse.
When I was an intern, my job was to scrape the chicken guts off the ceiling after they had rotted, and it's so nice now that I have interns.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Clean out the fridge is the worst.
That is a good,
We always-
that's a good feeling.
We have 2 fridges now because I put a human skull in the fridge where everybody put their lunches.
Oh, that kind
and
of-
I had made like fake brains and stuff in it, and you know the experiment went longer than we thought, and it started to rot in there, and apparently the smell was really bad, and the office was getting mad at me. They're just like, you can't put a human skull next to my sandwich. So we had to get 2 fridges, one for human food and one for the stuff that we leave out. And in particular, that banquet that they made me eat, we kind of stuck that in the fridge and then forgot about it over the weekend. And then we forgot about it over a period of a few weeks. And then somebody had unplugged the fridge for sound issues. And we're like, what is that smell? What is going on? And so somebody goes, I think it's the fridge, opens the door. We had to evacuate the shop.
Wow, that bad.
Yeah, it was like that scene from Stand By Me where everybody's like, "Wah," you know?
It's great
It'd be
to
like,
know.
It'd be like cleaning the workshop in Saw.
Exactly.
It's great to know the same crap happens where you work. Like you watch MythBuster.
What? You have human skulls in your fridge?
Well, not so much human skulls, but just nasty garbage and
I would like to play a game. We're going to see if shit is flammable.
Hey, what does your husband do? Is he kind of like alpha like you are, like test limits, or is he, a corporate guy?
He is a tattoo artist by day, and then on the weekends he races motorcycles.
Yeah, see, that's the type of people that are attracted to each other.
man.
Both. Yeah, they both kind of.
I have tattoos and a motorcycle.
Yes,
He's laughing at
Well, I think that's illegal in America.